This is the Purple and Gold Hour, presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation. Your spotlight on the University of North Alabama, featuring conversations with UNA officials and friends of the university. This is your look inside campus. Now your host, the voice of the Lions, Benjamin Ray.
This is the Purple and Gold Hour presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation, your inside look and spotlight at the University of North Alabama. I'm your host, Benjamin Ray. It's an off week for UNA football, but we've still got a jam-packed show for you. Coming up, we'll talk with Dr. Butler Kane and Miss Rachel Kuntz about the Town and Gown initiative between North Alabama and the city of Florence. We've still got football coaches stopping by as well. Defensive coordinator Stedman Campbell, co-offensive coordinator Tyler Rice, and UNA head football coach Chris Willis will all join us. Let's get into the action. We'll take our first break. When we come back, we'll talk Town and Gown. This is the Purple and Gold Hour, brought to you by the University of North Alabama Foundation.
My whole life has been about making an impact. Not just on the field, but in the world around me. My high school Spanish teacher helped me find my true calling to educate and serve others all over the world. I used to think the biggest college was the best place to start, but my search brought me to North Alabama. At UNA, my story matters, and so does my calling.
This is the Purple and Gold Hour presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation, your spotlight and inside look at the University of North Alabama. I'm Benjamin Ray, back with you. It's a non-football Saturday. Usually we're doing this leading up to kickoff, but today North Alabama football is on the bye week. UNA's coming off back-to-back wins over Robert Morris 2 weeks ago for homecoming. Last weekend inside of Brawley Stadium against Charleston Southern. The Lions will be back in action the next 3 weeks after this on the road, taking on Monmouth, the two-time defending Big South Conference champions, back home against Kennesaw State the week after that. Then we wrap up on the road at Hampton. Don't forget, basketball season tickets are on sale. We're still going to talk some football later on. We'll hear from head coach Chris Willis. Defensive coordinator Stedman Campbell stops by. We'll also hear from co-offensive coordinator Tyler Rice. All right, let's get into the meat of this show. The University of North Alabama is located in Florence, Alabama. We talk about that a lot. And there's a great partnership happening between the university and the city of Florence. Let's talk about Town and Gown. Our guest, we welcome in Mr. Butler, Dr. Butler Kane, Assistant Vice President, International Affairs, Director, Education Abroad, International Affairs. Did I get all those titles right?
Yeah, actually, it's Assistant Vice Provost. So,
okay,
yeah,
there we go.
Indeed.
And you have a background in radio, so we're kind of going back to your roots.
I am so excited to be on the radio today. It's fabulous.
And we also have joining us from the City of Florence, the Media and Sustainability Specialist for the City of Florence, Rachel Kuntz, a UNA grad.
Yes, this will be my third degree coming from UNA.
And what are the other two in?
I've got elementary ed and my master's in education, and now I'm working on my MBA and just having a good time working for the City of Florence and being in UNA.
A UNA graduate, you work for the City of Florence. We talk a lot about growth with UNA. You're working on your third degree. How much growth have you seen from your perspective?
Oh, it's growing. It's easy. You can sign up online and you can just get in there and learn something new and get a degree. I mean, it's beautiful. Have you walked through campus lately?
It's phenomenal.
Oh, my gosh.
I love the lights strung across campus.
It's unreal.
Now, I got to ask you this, too. You're working on your MBA. You're doing it online. We had everybody on from the College of Business and Technology on just a few weeks ago. And tell us about your experience getting your degree online, your MBA.
Oh, I work full-time. I'm a mother of two and family, and I've been able to take classes as I see fit and do it online in my own time and yet get a great education and learn, all kinds of new stuff.
So you can back up what they told us. It's actually as easy to do as they told us.
I mean, it's college. I mean, it's classes. Yeah. It's hard, and you're learning something new, but you can do it at your pace, and you can do it when you need to. And so if I need to study at 3 a.m., I can, or take a test at 6 a.m. before work, I can, and it's flexible.
Dr. Kane, tell us, from your perspective, North Alabama was named the fastest-growing four-year institution by the Alabama Commission on Higher Education. You've been at North Alabama for a while, but from a perspective of working at UNA, how big is that?
Yeah, I mean, that's tremendous. I mean, we're the only university in the state that can say that right now, and particularly what UNA has been doing coming out of, we hope we're coming out of, this pandemic era that we've been in, and whatever that might look like for the next several months or even next couple of years, for UNA to be able to post this amount of growth that we're seeing in some really difficult times for higher ed in general across the board, across the country. It's a phenomenal testament to the leadership that we have here, the people who work here, and everything that they are investing in, not only just in their time and effort, but recruitment, putting the classes together, making sure that students are having a good experience. We wouldn't be getting all of these students to UNA if they didn't think they were getting a good experience out of this. So I think UNA has handled this exceptionally well.
It's great to see. All right, let's talk about Town and Gown Task Force. UNA and the city of Florence got together to find ways to work together, grow together. So, Dr. Kane, tell us, what is the Town and Gown Task Force?
So I'm new. This is my first year on it, which is really exciting. I'm having a terrific time. But essentially, just to boil it down, the Town and Gown Task Force is a group of people coming from the University of North Alabama and also from the city of Florence. And it's folks who are trying to work together to recognize that both UNA and Florence have a lot to do with each other. We can't really afford to think of ourselves as separate entities, because the way that UNA goes the city of Florence and vice versa. And so we've got folks who are really dedicated to a great quality of life, fabulous educational opportunities in this area. And so what we have done is we come together to put our heads together to think about, hey, what are some challenges that we are facing in our community, and how can we, from both of these different perspectives, address those and just improve the quality of life in our entire area. And so essentially that's what we're trying to do.
And Rachel, from the city's perspective, what are some of the ways UNA and the city of Florence work together?
Oh, so the city of Florence and the university, of course, have a relationship, and we've been working together for years, right? And so we've got lots of city services in the university, and students and parents use those. And so this Town and Gown gives us the opportunity to be intentional about it and kind of document what we're doing, and then how to move forward and do it better, right? Because, we live together and work together. And so there's a couple of different ways. So you've been talking about the city services, and we've gotten recycling going with the city since 1988. But now the university is one of our largest participants, and making sure students know how to do that and how to do that right. So yeah, anyways, lots of different ways.
And from UNA's perspective, tell us a little bit, Dr. Kane, about UNA's role in all of this.
I think, and I've worked for a few different universities, and so, as you said, I've been here about 6 years now at UNA, but I think this is true of a lot of universities and institutions of higher education. It can sometimes feel like you are in your own bubble. Even though we are sitting right here smack in the middle of Florence. I mean, we are just right at the top of Court Street. But on occasion, it could feel like the university is its own thing. And part of what the Town and Gown Task Force is going to help, has been doing, and will continue to kind of help bridging, is that showing everybody that, hey, we recognize that UNA is a member of this greater community in the Shoals area, and that we have a role to play in how things go around here, and that we need to be active in that relationship. And this is just speaking for me personally, but as a member of the Town and Gown Task Force, it's not enough for UNA just to simply exist in a geographic space here. We need to make sure that we are reaching out to the city. We have a lot of positives to bring to this area as well, but we also need to make sure that we are reaching out to the city on issues that we might need help with. And so really, when it comes down to it, if we can just continue to work on ways to show that we are all part of this greater community, then we'll all be able to move forward in a good direction.
Going off what you're saying, sticking with things from a UNA perspective, I know you're very involved in the community as well. For UNA employees, why is it so important for us to get back out in the community, get involved with civic groups, and give back?
Yeah, I'm involved in a civic group as well. I'm a member of the Rotary Club and try to do a few other things as well. And I think that helps break down sort of that barrier that some folks might see, that we just have some kind of invisible wall between the university and the rest of Florence or the rest of the Greater Shoals area. And so I think that the more that we can get out and meet other people, we can even invite people to campus, do events where we're really promoting it out to the city as opposed to just maybe a UNA crowd, if you will. I think those kinds of things really break down those barriers, and we just have to do them more often. We do a great job of doing a lot of things, but if we can be intentional about that, particularly with this Town and Gown Task Force, one of our main goals is to think about these things and how can we make these things possible. I think that's going to be great for us in the long run.
Which is what we're about to do. So Town and Gown, so far as our initiatives go, initially, we're going to start with the SOAR and, play an active role, let the city play an active role into the students coming to campus and parents so that we can, help them with city services and educate them about different city needs. And, UNA students and parents live here. So we want to accommodate and help and blend and make them feel at home in this wonderful city.
Students come to Florence and they really fall in love with the area. What do you think is something that students learn about the Shoals area that they may not know once they come that they need to know?
Oh, we have a beautiful city, and it's not just downtown. We have a whole city. And as far as the Town and Gown partnership goes, we're not just the downtown and Florence and University of North Alabama. We're the whole city. So you've got East Campus and the mall and districts and all the way to Shoals Creek Bridge. And so there's just so many things to see. We've got a beautiful town, lots of history, lots of businesses. And so we want to make sure that when students come to town that they understand the whole city and get to tour.
There's certainly a lot in Florence. Florence is just continuing to grow along with the university. It's great to see the two going hand in hand. Now, you guys have some events coming up that we want to talk about, so let's take a quick time out. We've got more to dive into with both of you. We'll have more coverage to come. We're talking about Town and Gown with Dr. Butler Kane and Rachel Kuntz. We'll be back after this. This is the Purple and Gold Hour, presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation.
I came and visited UNA and I saw the atmosphere and the student life, which really fit me and I knew that I would be able to do once I got here at UNA. If I had to pick one thing about UNA that made me want to come here, it would just be campus and the life that you see on campus. With UNA just being so close, that's not what I thought that I wanted. And so when I came and I realized I'm still going to have the same opportunities as someone who went to a larger university, that was one of the things that drew me in.
The Purple and Gold Hour, presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation, rolls on. Your spotlight and inside look at the University of North Alabama. I'm Benjamin Ray, back with you, and we're talking Town and Gown with Dr. Butler Kane, Assistant Vice Provost, International Affairs, and Miss Rachel Kuntz, the Media and Sustainability Specialist for the City of Florence. So we talked a little bit about what Town and Gown is. We talked about UNA's role in it. We talked about the City of Florence's role in it. And now let's talk a little bit about the history of Town and Gown. How long have you guys been getting together and talking about ways that the two entities can work together?
So our task force has actually just started, and we started in August, and so we're really proud of our progress and how we're going and our partnership. But really, it started several years ago. We had Dr. Kitts and the mayor's office came together and decided we needed an intentional partnership. And so they put together a committee who kind of did an inventory and brainstormed ideas and generated a report. Well, then from there, they were able to come through and say, okay, we need a task force. Like, we need to get some stuff done and really work together. And so the task force was put together this past summer, and we got launched here in August. And so we've only met about 3 times, and we're going to just keep going. And our first event's coming up with Halloween, and we've got a long list of things the way we're going to work together, in 2022. So we're real excited.
And how often do you guys meet?
Twice a month, sometimes once a month, and the expectation is that that'll pick up more once we get into the new year and we really start pushing forward on some other initiatives that we're looking into.
So let's say people out there want to get more information, want to keep up with what you guys are doing. Where do they go?
So I think, Benjamin, the couple of easiest places is you can find us on Facebook. So we have a Facebook page just called Town and Gown. And if you pull that up, you'll notice we've got the blended icon right there. It's very easy to find. That includes UNA's rather distinctive architectural arch, and it also has the City of Florence's iconic fleur-de-lis on there, so it's really easy, black and white. You can find that. So again, that's Town and Gown on Facebook, and we're also on Instagram, and that's at Town_Gown, and it's got the same image on there as well. So easy for folks to find us.
All right, so first big event, Halloween, Saturday, It's already taken place. Tell us what this event was.
It's really cool. So it's an opportunity for the city departments, the university departments, businesses, civic clubs to come together, set up trunks or treats, just and have. We're going to take 2 blocks down Court Street is what we've done, and so they set up the different cars. People can walk through. The pedestrians have walked through, pick up candy, and it's safe. So you can walk through and traffic is one way to kind of keep us, which is the history of Halloween. So we did this last year. This is our 2nd year. And the reason why is because we're in the middle of a pandemic and there was just not a lot to do and not a lot of events were not happening. We couldn't go indoors. And so Halloween was developed by Michelle Eubanks, was a grand idea. And it was brilliant because it gave us an opportunity to have an event and get people to come out and celebrate. And so Halloween and Pauloween are, together because we've got the paw.
That's right. We're the Lions. So and we've got if you look downtown too, you can see paws throughout Court Street. We've got them on campus as well. So all of that really just kind of matches up really well. And we've had a lot of support in this 2nd year. A couple of dozen organizations, groups had signed up to do this. So we really appreciate their support of this, and we're probably looking at this sort of being maybe an annual event that the Town and Gown Task Force is looking into. We're really not so much an event-driven group. We're really not trying to plan a bunch of events, but this was so popular and got so much feedback, positive feedback, that we decided to adopt that, and we'll probably be doing this every year. The rest of the things we'll be doing, talking about challenges that we can address and all of that type of thing. But as far as an event goes, the response has been great for this one, and we'll probably keep doing it.
What does it take to pull off something like this?
Just a little bit of a willingness. Everybody around on the task force thought that it was a tremendous idea, and it wasn't this organization's idea, but we have certainly taken that football and continuing to run with this since we're on a non-football Saturday here. But everybody liked the idea, and we see this as a genuine opportunity to bring some folks together again in the city of Florence with our partners there, the university's partners here, and just provide something fun for the community to do. And so it's a terrific event to do that.
And it's doubled in size. So, the first year it was 1 block, and this year it's been 2 blocks. And so we'll see what the future holds. But, we want to get out and get together and celebrate together. And if, when you get to see Leo and Una stand with the fire truck and the fire guys and hop in the police car, it's a perfect iconic blending of the city and university and local businesses and organizations. It's all of us together.
Certainly great to see everybody coming together. So, Rachel, in what other ways do you see these 2 entities working together in the future?
Oh, we can't wait. We'll have the university be a part of the State of the City addresses. We're going to have the city get involved in SOAR and communities come into town. We're going to address issues, walkability, and keep promoting things through the town and things that access for the university. And the safety part, and you don't realize how safe Florence is, but we have hands down a great police department and force and fire department and city services. And so we want the students to know that. We want the parents to feel comfortable with people coming to town and understanding how safe it is. We want to tour them through the city and let them experience it. And so the safety thing is just making sure everybody understands, how to access services and how safe we are. Do you feel safe, Butler?
Yeah, with international affairs now, one of the things that we hear from our international students all the time is that how much they enjoy feeling safe and getting to study in a safe environment. And, they hear from a lot of the other friends who are in other parts of the country where maybe that's not really the narrative. But this comes up consistently with our international students who really enjoy what they describe as a smaller town feel. They feel like they can get to places particularly close to campus pretty easily. And as we've been talking about, we're trying to find ways to make sure that they can get to a wider area of the city as well. That's something the Town and Gown Task Force is looking into. But, yeah, they consistently talk about just feeling like they are in a community and that they feel safe and they enjoy this place and they tell their friends about it. That's one of the reasons why UNA has actually been increasing with our numbers of international students, particularly during this pandemic era when a lot of other universities are seeing steep declines in international students. So UNA is doing well on that front as well.
And Rachel, I know you touched on this in our last segment, but it's not just UNA in downtown. I mean, there's a lot for the students to take in from the entire city.
No, the city's huge. I mean, well, we're 10 miles, but it's large. I mean, you can go all the way out to Shoals Creek Bridge, and you've got a whole shopping area, the mall and Publix and Target and all of those shopping areas. But you've got East Campus, and you've got shopping centers through, and there's 7 Points. I mean, it's just growing, and there's so many new businesses, and Florence continues to flourish, and we want to make sure that students and their parents are getting all of the experience of Florence.
Is there anything else about Town and Gown that we need to know? We covered it all?
You know, I think we're always happy to hear ideas. We want to make sure that as an organization that we are staying open to folks who might have an interesting idea, or, hey, would you think this would be something Town and Gown could discuss? We're happy to hear all of those ideas, because really what we're trying to accomplish is making sure that we are having great communication, great collaboration, and great cooperation between the University of North Alabama and all aspects of the city of Florence.
Right. I mean, we want to facilitate those partnerships. We're not trying to just come in and create events and things. We want to facilitate and work through and make it just even better.
One last plug for where people can find information.
Yeah, so once again, on our Facebook page, that is Town and Gown. You'll see our iconic fleur-de-lis right there with also UNA's arch. And so Town and Gown on Facebook, and on Instagram at Town_Gown.
And please message us, follow us, and get involved.
Shoot ideas your way.
Yeah,
Yes.
We need ideas. We want to partner with you.
Now, Dr. Kane, I will circle back 1 second and talk some UNA stuff with you very quickly. International Affairs, you guys have a big week coming up, November 15th to November 19th. That's, 2 weeks away?
Right.
IEW, International Education Week. How excited are you for this?
Yeah, this is really great. And this is the first time that I'm getting to celebrate this because I've spent the last 5 years in the Department of Communication, just came over to International Affairs over the summer, so I'm really thrilled about this. And this is a national event. Universities across the country celebrate International Education Week. And we're looking forward to doing several things throughout that week. So we'll be rolling out the agenda, the lineup here in a little while as well. But I should put in a plug for the Thursday night event, Passport to the World, at 5 o'clock at the University of North Alabama campus. This is when our international students get together for a couple of hours. They plan cultural. Sharing cultural events, music, talk about their countries. It's their opportunity to share with our UNA community and the wider Florence community the things that they are really proud of about their countries and their cultures. It's really exciting to see. They get so excited about this, and we're just happy to give them an opportunity to be able to share their cultures with ours. And so that's going to be the big event. That's Thursday night on November the 18th at 5 o'clock in the GUC ballrooms on campus.
I got to attend this last year.
Oh, really?
It's fabulous,
and
isn't it?
I mean, it is like traveling the world in booth to booth and getting to see these perspectives from students that are here and talk to them from their. I mean, it's fabulous.
Yeah.
We have 2 international students that work with us in our broadcast department in athletics, and one of my favorite things is talking to them. I mean, hey, what do you like to eat back home? What are your favorite sports? Hey, how many people show up? You know, we get 10,000 people at a football game, and they're like, "This is crazy. Football's boring." We get 20,000 at a real football game, a soccer game. So I love seeing their personalities come out. That's great.
Yeah. They bring a richness to the campus experience that we're working on. That's another thing we're doing here at UNA to find more opportunities to expand that here on our campus and locally as well.
Last thing, and I said I was going to talk to you guys about this at the beginning, and I overlooked it. I jumped the gun. I love asking this question. The University of North Alabama, what's your favorite thing about campus?
Yeah.
Oh, mine! It's just the beauty. It's walking through the pathways and the buildings and the history, and of course there's Leo and Una and getting to go see them, and the faculty. I mean, the benefit for me as an alumni has been the faculty. I mean, they're just bar none the best, and they make you feel at home, and they want to help you, and the education. So, but yeah. I gave you more than one answer.
I like it. I'll take it.
You know, for me, and this is an experience that I get to have on occasion, but just a few days ago, I took a couple of visitors who were visiting from out of state to do some training, and they wanted to come see Leo, and they wanted to just take a look around campus, so I volunteered to walk them around. And just being able to share our campus with them and to see them and to hear them talk about, oh my gosh, this is so gorgeous, or tell me about this history, or I can't believe you have this, I love this, and they're taking photos of campus and all of these things that they find so interesting about the architecture, the history, all of that. I really enjoy getting to share UNA with people who come from other places and give them just a little bit of an experience about what it, give a hint of what it might be like to work here every day, and to hear them respond so positively to talk about the beauty and everything that they're enjoying about our campus. That always makes me feel good.
This has been great. It's been fun. It's been educational. Thanks to both of you for coming on and talking about Town and Gown with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's Dr. Butler Kane and Rachel Coons. We'll take a timeout when we return. Defensive coordinator Stedman Campbell stops by. It's the Purple and Gold Hour, brought to you by the University of North Alabama Foundation.
My whole life has been about making an impact. Not just on the field, but in the world around me. My high school Spanish teacher helped me find my true calling to educate and serve others all over the world. I used to think the biggest college was the best place to start, but my search brought me to North Alabama. At UNA, my story matters, and so does my calling.
We keep the Purple and Gold Hour presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation moving. This is your spotlight and inside look at all things at the University of North Alabama. Of course, there's no football game this afternoon. UNA football is off, coming off back-to-back wins against Robert Morris on homecoming. They followed that up with a 45-22 win over Charleston Southern last Saturday inside of Brawley Stadium. 3 football games remaining on the road next weekend against Monmouth, home versus Kennesaw the 13th. Then they wrap up November 20th against Hampton up in Hampton, Virginia. Let's circle back and talk some UNA football. We now welcome in defensive coordinator Stedman Campbell. You can hear Coach Campbell every week during the Countdown to Kickoff show. We're happy to have him here on the Purple and Gold Hour. Coach Campbell, thanks for chatting with us here on the bye week.
I appreciate you having me, Ben. Thanks.
How big has this week been? I mean, you guys have played 8 tough weeks of football. Is everybody just being able to hit the reset button?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it came at a good time, like you said, eight games in a row. Probably a little late for most teams this off week, but, no, it's been good to, have the last couple of weeks that we've had going into the off week. So, but no, everybody, players, I think coaches, everybody needed this off week. So it's been good, allowed us to kind of rest up, heal some of those bumps and bruises, and, still get some work on the field with our young guys and some of the down the line guys. So it's been a good week.
Give us some insight. I mean, this team lost 6 straight to open the year. Incredibly tough schedule, but very competitive, and all 6 of those games had opportunities to win every one of them. You can go back and look at it. And then how well you guys have played each of the last 2 weeks in wins over Robert Morris and Charleston Southern. How has this team kept it all together?
Well, I mean, I think, it's a credit to our seniors. It's a credit to the type of players and people that they are. That's one thing I'll never forget about this group. They have continued to show up to work every day. Even, throughout the 0-6 stretch, I mean, those guys kept competing. They kept showing up, doing everything we asked them to do. So, they put a lot of work in, like you said, looking back, we played really good in spurts and at times played good enough to win some of those early games, just maybe not as consistent as we needed to be. But our guys have continue to progress. They continue to get better, and it's good to see these last 2 weeks. And we always talk to them. Sometimes it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So we've got 3 games left. They're all going to be challenging games, and we've got an opportunity to end on a special note.
Let's go back to last Saturday's win, 45-22 over Charleston at Southern, and defensively, you guys shut them out for 3 quarters, 3 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries, a pick 6 that got called back, a scoop and score off of one of those fumbles from Will Evans, blocked a field goal, blocked a punt. Was that the most complete game you guys have played, you think?
Yeah, it was. I think from start to finish, from D-line to the secondary, I think it was. We came out, played really well. They got some first downs, kind of in the middle of the first half, but we were able to do enough to, get some stops, get off the field. The turnovers were huge. The blocked field goal, anytime you can, block a field goal or a punt, obviously that's a momentum swifting or changing play. So, there's a lot of people involved. A lot of people did a lot of good things. So it was good to see.
You look back at that ball game, and Charleston Southern had one of the top offenses in the Big South. The quarterback was top 10 in the nation in total offense, a dual threat. I mean, what was the game plan going in, knowing he could do both, and you guys limited him for most of that game?
Yeah, we really wanted to force him into the run game while taking care of the quarterback. That's what kind of scared you the most, was just him kind of getting out and getting loose, which he did. I think he still ran for, 120-something yards. So, he got his yards. He's a talented player. I mean, moves around well, knows when to tuck it and run. But, really proud of our secondary. I thought they did a really good job in man coverage, and defensive line, I thought, controlled the game. And, we moved, battled to will linebacker some, so, didn't play with a lot of linebackers, but those guys did a good job. So, yeah, I mean, it was a complete game. It was good to see. Anytime you can get everybody on the travel squad in the game, that's a good game. So we were excited about it.
You mentioned the secondary. You guys lead the Big South Conference, 10 total interceptions, and it's been K.J. Smith most of the way, and he had one this past weekend. But we saw Jonathan Jordan pick off 2. Alonzo Creighton's had one. Kyrie Fields got his first of the year, and then Chase Brown had his first career interception. He actually took it to the house, a 100-yard return, got called back for a block in the back. But that's secondary. We all know about KJ. How strong have those other players been?
Yeah, I mean, I think, it's kind of almost have too many. It's hard to get everybody, the reps they probably deserve, but Coach Ferris does an outstanding job with them. That was a heck of a play that Chase made, and it was good to see that. And but no, KJ's kind of the steadying force in that group, and everybody's played well, and those guys. It was good to see Kyrie finally get an interception this year, and we change up coverages each week. We kind of tweak how we play man at times, so they've done a good job of really honing in throughout the week, trying to get a good grasp of what we're going to do week to week, and they've done a good job of it.
You've had some young guys get in the game the last couple of weeks, especially on the defensive line. Tyler Ankowiak, I know he's a third-year redshirt freshman, but still 3 more years of eligibility after this. We saw a true freshman, Tyreek Daniels, in the mix. Tell us about some of the youth and the way you've been able to work them in defensively.
Yeah, I mean, it's been big. Charlie Ryan was injured early in the year, really hadn't played at all, and so we fought a depth issue there, and for some of those young guys to step up and play the way they as well as they have has been really big for us. Tyler has had a really good year. I think he, back-to-back games with the sack, and he's only getting better. Tyreek Daniels is going to be a good player. I mean, he can really, kind of this point in his career with us, he's more of just a pass rush guy because he's got a quick first step, got some explosion, but we're excited about him. He's done a really good job, and we look forward to him in the future. Mac McCluskey swapped over from the offensive line and has really enabled us to have a little bit more depth inside and be able to move people around. So that's been big for us as well. And we've got some other guys that haven't played this year that we're excited about. EJ Colbert being one of them, but that's a great group. I can't say enough about what Coach Upshaw does. Really, all of our coaches do a great job with their position groups, and we're losing a lot at that spot, and we're gonna have to go out and do a really good job recruiting some of the guys that we lose, but feel like we got a good nucleus coming back, and we're excited about it.
Wrapping up our Purple and Gold Hour conversation with UNA defensive coordinator Stedman Campbell. And Coach Campbell, I want to talk about a 5-year guy with you. Will Evans came back this year. I know it's a deep linebacker group, but how special is it when a player like him gets that moment, a scoop and score touchdown?
No, it was awesome. I was going crazy there on the sideline. I just remember there was a game last year. We all kind of give him a hard time. I thought there was a fumble he could have scooped up and scored. Maybe Southern Miss or somebody last year. But no, to see him have that moment, there in his senior year was something I'm sure he'll always remember. And we can't speak enough about what Will's done for us as a program. He's put in a lot of hours, a lot of work, been a really good teammate. So we're excited to see that.
Defensively, what do you guys work on during the bye week?
Well, I think, it's a lot of fundamentals. We work on, fundamentals, things that have kind of given us issues, throughout this season, kind of clean up some of those areas. Got to get some new guys, some good reps in practice in Pascal and going to do a little scrimmage this week, and all at the same time working towards Monmouth. That's going to be a big game. They're an outstanding program and got another really good football team this year. So trying to get all that kind of mixed in, all in one, and done a good job so far. And like I said, our guys they continue to show up, do a great job, and we're excited about these last 3 weeks.
3 games remaining. Tell me, start to finish with this defense, what's impressed you most?
Well, I think their attitudes and their willingness to compete and show up. When you're 0-6 now, nothing's easy. And it's easy to start pointing fingers at coaches or other players. And for the most part, our guys have not done that. And we've had some really good senior leadership that have kind of steadied the waters there at times, and for them to have the games they've had the last 2 weeks, hopefully we can have some carryover and finish this thing on a great note.
Coach Campbell, we appreciate you chatting with us here on this bye week.
I appreciate it, Ben.
That's UNA Defensive Coordinator Stedman Campbell. We'll take a timeout. The Purple and Gold Hour will continue, presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation, when we return.
My whole life has been about making an impact. Not just on the field, but in the world around me. My high school Spanish teacher helped me find my true calling to educate and serve others all over the world. I used to think the biggest college was the best place to start, but my search brought me to North Alabama. At UNA, my story matters, and so does my calling.
This is the Purple and Gold Hour, brought to you by the University of North Alabama Foundation. It's your spotlight, an inside look at the University of North Alabama. Here we are in week 9 of football season. It's flying by. Football has a bye week, so we have no football game to get you to later. But let's take you inside the UNA football program. Here in this episode, of course, we're scheduled to talk with Chris Willis, head football coach, defensive coordinator Stedman Campbell as well. But we'll kick off our coverage, co-offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach, pass game coordinator, whatever else you want to say. UNA football coach Tyler Rice joins us next here on the Purple and Gold Hour. Coach Rice, thanks for taking the time to talk with us.
Yeah, man, anytime, Ben, and I always enjoy being on with you and talking UNA football.
This team's played 8 games. We've seen a little bit of everything, but how nice is it to get this bye week as you guys get set for the final push of the season?
Well, the best thing about the bye week is going into it with a win. It's very rewarding that you kind of get a week off and you go in on it on a win that was a total and complete game by us. It just feels good to be able to do that.
Let's talk some offense and sort of the growth of this offense. And going into the season, the big topic was who would be the starting quarterback. And you started out with Jalen Gibson for 2 games. He got hurt. Then you had Blake Deaver step in for 2 games. He got hurt. Now, Rhett Files has been the guy for, the last 3-4 ball games. Now, let's talk about that room as a whole. Have you been surprised at how well all 3 played when given their chances?
I don't know if surprised the word, but because all 4 of them, and you forgot about Brady as well. He had his own package that we used him with, but I think all 4 of them have the ability to win games in this league, and scheduling wise, we had some tough games early, and Jalen and Blake battled those 4 games that they played, and Red had a couple early that he went in and played well, but we didn't get the win. And we've kind of turned the page a little bit, and Rhett's done well these past 2 games, leading us to the victory, and just very, very proud of him more so than anything. I always thought I had a really deep quarterback room with the addition of Jalen and Brady. this offseason. So, it's been good. I don't know if surprise is the word, but I just think, very proud of him.
Let's talk about who we've learned about this year. When you come in about Dexter Boykin, Cortez Hall, Corson Swan, the tight end, but you've had some breakout stars as well. Each of the last 2 weeks, one of these stars has been named Big South Conference Offensive Player of the Week. Let's start with Parker Driggers, 72 carries, 402 yards, 6 touchdowns. He's done a great job receiving out of the backfield, returning kicks as well. We got teased with Parker in the 4-game schedule last season. What have you guys seen from the young redshirt freshman?
Yeah, Parker is probably our most complete player offensively. And, I think everybody would probably tell you that. So, he was, just getting him the ball any way we can, moving him back to the backfield. That way, we can hand it to him, we can throw it to him, he can take the snap. He can do, really anything out there, and, we try to game plan accordingly for that. But, with him athletically, he can do so much because he can catch the ball out of the backfield and, obviously he can run it. But, yeah, I mean, very, very, proud of Parker. I don't think anybody, on our team is very surprised about what he did with the 99-yard touchdown. We see that in practice, daily of things he does, whether it's a crazy catch or, a long run or juking out somebody. We see that, daily from Parker.
99-yard run. I mean, that's a record that will last forever in the record books. What was your perspective of that? Trying to probably just get some breathing room. What point did you realize he was taking it to the house?
Yeah, so, I thought, first off, we excuse me. First off, we jumped off sides twice, which was not good by our tight end, and then we had a flinch by our center. But and it backed us up even more to the 1 yard line. But we tried to just hand one off inside, and we actually got kind of stuffed, and he had to redirect his path. And after he did that, the defense kind of over pursued to the left side. And once I saw him break kind of outside of the tackle box, I knew he had a shot. And I think the safety took a bad angle. And you underestimate how fast Parker is. I mean, he can roll now. And after he broke that angle of the safety's tackle, I knew he was gone. So it was a pretty good feeling.
Did your heart flutter just a little bit when he got hit in the end zone?
Oh yeah, because that's the worst thing you want to happen back there is is giving 2 points away to the other team. But he made players make plays. He made a good play. He didn't go down on contact. And he jumped backside and made a great play.
Takari Kennebrew, wide receiver, redshirt sophomore, 6'3", 185. I think there was probably some questions offensively. Who would be the third receiver behind Dexter Boykin and Cortez Hall? TK was named Big South Offensive Player of the Week. 4 receptions, 141 yards, 3 scores against Charleston Southern. I mean, just how electric is this young man?
Yeah, so in football these days, speed kills, and TK is probably the fastest guy, bar none, on our team. And I think him being finally healthy has helped him a lot. And then coming into the Southeast Louisiana game, nobody really knew about him. So he kind of got a lot of single coverage, and people didn't know how fast he was. So I think that was a kind of a credit to why he kind of went off in that first game. And then, coming back here, he kind of got hurt in the middle of the season. He's been banged up with a high ankle sprain since Chattanooga. So, to finally get him back and going again, and then he comes out and does what he does, catching 3 touchdowns. Should have been 4. He dropped one in the end zone down there early third quarter. But there's always room for improvement. I'm very proud of him. He's came a long way, not only on the field but off the field in the classroom. And he's growing into the young man that we're trying to produce out of this program. So very proud of him.
So we've talked about a redshirt freshman in Parker Driggers, a redshirt sophomore in Takari Kennebrew. Rhett Files is a redshirt sophomore as well. Are you pretty excited about what some of these younger guys are doing?
Very, very excited. And then you throw Shunderick Powell in there, who is probably one of the best freshmen that I've seen at this level. Especially at the running back position. So the future is very, very bright for this program and for the football team. And with all of them staying together, staying healthy, and continuing to develop, we're gonna have a really good shot these next couple 2-3 years to do some good things.
Let's back up and talk about sort of the first half of the season compared to this half. You guys played a super tough schedule to open up the year. 7 teams were ranked in the preseason top 25. We still have to play 2 more of those. But now you go and you look across in 4 Big South Conference games. You guys are the second best scoring Big South offense in Big South Conference play. 3rd most total yards, 2nd most passing yards, just a half yard really off from the leader in Charleston Southern, who we met this past week. But how much do those early season games prepare this offense, this team, for what you guys are seeing now in Big South play?
Yeah, I think it prepared us, and the level of competition we played, especially with those first 4, have prepared us from a schematic standpoint, and just moving the line of scrimmage up front was the biggest thing. And then you go against guys who are 2-3-time All-Americans that we've played in those first 4 games, to some younger guys in the secondary that we've played. But I think it's prepared us, and the end goal for all this is yes, we lost those 4 games early to some prominent foes, but we want to end up being able to beat those teams, and that's the end goal. But just going forward and coming off those first 4, going into Campbell, you could see the difference in kind of our confidence going in and after we had some success, and then we've kind of started putting it together these past 2 games, and it's been good to see.
All right, let's wrap it up with this. You guys have 3 more games left: Monmouth, Kennesaw State, and Hampton. Monmouth next Saturday, a noon o'clock kick. Of course, we'll have the broadcast of that one. But as you get prepared for these final 3, I know bye week, you're probably looking back at a lot of things. What has excited you most about how far this offense has come this season?
I think, just going back and self-scouting is, it's just the tip of the iceberg, especially with what we've done in conference offensively. It finally felt good to not turn the ball over. And we're growing in that aspect from last game. And, scoring, I think it's 38 a game in conference, which is very good. And it's a testament to our players and, them buying in and continuing to chop away at it. But, the biggest thing is I think it's just the tip of the iceberg. I think we can, continue to do good things and score more points and, put our team in the best situation to win and, not give the ball away and put our defense in bad situations. Our defense played their tails off versus Charleston Southern and versus Robert Morris. And we got to continue to take care of the ball and continue to grow and get the ball in our best players' hands and let them make plays, and that's what we're going to do.
Coach Rice, we appreciate the time. Hope the bye week's been good to you.
Thank you, Ben.
That's co-offensive coordinator Tyler Rice. We'll take a timeout. The Purple and Gold Hour continues when we return.
I realized that there was a lot of just business, just the day-to-day business of the chamber that I did not feel particularly comfortable in. There was an opportunity at UNA to pursue my MBA and thought that it might be a really good idea just to bolster that side of my education. Professors were so understanding and willing to work with us. I realized then I had made the right choice, that UNA was the correct institution for me. I've never talked to anyone who's gone forward with their education who regretted that decision. It's not been easy every day, but totally worth it at all times.
One final guest due here on the Purple and Gold Hour, presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation. Your spotlight and inside look at the University of North Alabama. I'm Benjamin Ray, and joining me now is the head football coach at the University of North Alabama, Chris Willis. A bye week for North Alabama, coming off back-to-back wins against Robert Morris and Charleston Southern. 3 games remaining this season against Monmouth next week, November 6th on the road. Back home November 13th, hosting Kennesaw State. Then the season finale on the road up in Hampton, Virginia against Hampton. And Coach Willis, thanks for joining us here on this bye week.
Appreciate it, Ben. Thanks for having me.
Back-to-back wins against Robert Morris on homecoming, Charleston Southern last week, 45-22. Is the team riding a lot of momentum through this bye week?
I believe so. We've had a good week. I would say a light practicing session. We've lifted weights. We've met a little bit. We've scaled way back. Really beat up, really sore. I'm mentally fatigued as well, and so. But it's been a good week. Anytime you can win, I think it gains momentum, and winning 2 in a row is really going to help us going in, to this bye week, and knowing our next 2 opponents are 2 really good opponents. I would probably put them. 11 game schedule, I would put these 2 in the top half of the toughest part of the schedule. I mean, we played 4 pretty good ones out of the gate. I would put, Kennesaw's ranked 10th in the country, and then Monmouth was ranked. I think right now they're receiving votes, but they're picked to win our conference. So it kind of come at a good time knowing that we got those 2 guys coming.
Health-wise, I know you got a couple quarterbacks banged up. For the most part, this team has been healthy, but has it been good for guys to kind of reset, take their minds off football, and get some of those little nagging injuries healed up?
It is. I mean, you look around the locker room. We've got, throughout this week, we've had to hold a few people during these practices. But, I think just mentally, if anything, some of them are going to get to see some family. They hadn't seen family in a while. And, they come to the game, and they may spend that time with them. But we've had some guys that live, a ways off that are getting to go see family. They were off pretty much from Thursday afternoon, and we're bringing them back in Sunday. So they'll have a good little break. Friday and Saturday, we're not doing anything football-related. And so, I think this is good for everybody.
You look at the game against Charleston Southern this past Saturday, a win, 45-22. Takari Kennebrew, 4 catches, 141 yards, 3 scores. He was the Big South Conference Offensive Player of the Week. Rhett Files, 3 touchdown passes, a rushing touchdown as well. Those 2 combined for the number 1 play on SportsCenter top 10 plays on Saturday night, Coach. And for this program, 4th year of the Division I transition, 2 young guys, 2 redshirt sophomores. I mean, how cool is it to see that play end up on SportsCenter?
Yeah, that was huge. I didn't know that, and I kind of gotten up and got going through the day before I started getting all these text messages about it. But, anytime our players can get out front on an award, they deserve that. I know people know we work hard, but I don't know if they really understand what these guys go through. I mean, they just don't go to school and come over and practice football. There's a lot that goes on through a course of a day. I mean, they spend football hours-wise. Sometimes they can be over here as early as 2 and don't get home till 6. And, depending on what's all going on. And then you got your, study hall and your weights and your your own class schedule. So to see these guys win some awards like that put in the work, that was big time. I mean, those are guys that's been in the program and have worked hard and battled injuries and other issues. And so I'm proud for those guys.
Defensively, 3 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries. One was a scoop and score but by Will Evans. Coach, that was one of the top offenses in the Big South Conference in Charleston Southern. What can you say about the game plan and the execution?
Well, we knew that he was going to struggle throwing the football. We wanted to contain the run. We haven't been great against stopping the run. The runs that got us Saturday against him was him taking off and taking, the quarterback runs. And so he's athletic. We felt like we did a good job defending the pass for the most part. And then we created some turnovers and made him throw into some tight windows. And then we had the big, Wallace hits the quarterback, sack calls fumble, scoop and score by Will Evans, who's been around a long time. And so glad to see those guys as well get in on the action. And just a great overall defensive performance.
Special team-wise, you blocked a punt. You blocked a field goal attempt. Joe Gurley boomed a 62-yard punt. He had a great day as well. You had some great returns. We saw Shunderick Powell, the young freshman, break loose, nearly take one to the house. I mean, special teams-wise, combining it all, is this one of the most complete games this team's played?
Yeah, we've been pretty solid on special teams all year. Kobe Ellis does a good job. He coaches the punt and the kickoff return. Coach Ferris coaches the punt return. Coach Poe coaches the kickoff team. And then Coach Lisco works the extra point field goal, and Coach Upshaw does the extra point field goal block. So we don't like giving it all to one coach. I think it helps, and it showed in that game, and it showed pretty much throughout the season. It's been really good. Coach King handles the specialists and all their activity, the long snapper, kicker, punter. He's been here a long time, and so it's been working. That's the one unit you do not. If you're struggling, to win games and you're struggling offensively and defensively, you at least need to be sound in special teams, or that's where the game can get really away from you. And there are a lot of good plays. Michael Bland's block, Chase Brown's block, Shunderick's return. You got Joe punting the ball like he did. You got Sam getting to his first action, kicking it deep off into the end zone. You got Grayson making extra point and field goal. So, I mean, all of them together did a great job.
Certainly coming off of a big game, Coach. And is it any coincidence that the university announces a locker room renovation project the Thursday of homecoming, and then you guys go out and roll out back-to-back wins?
Yeah, I'm wondering now if we should have announced it the first week of the season. But, yeah, that's awesome. Megan and Dr. Looney and there's others. Alexa's involved at Moats, and people trying to, generate an opportunity to help ourselves here. I mean, listen, I've said this before. A locker room is huge, and our guys come over throughout the day. Some of them live off campus, and they don't want to go back over to their apartment, and they got another class. A locker room is a home away from home. It's a place to kind of, sit down there and hang out with your guys, camaraderie, and it's not just a place you go get dressed. They spend a lot of time in there, and I know people get confused about the locker rooms. Yes, there are locker rooms at Brawley, but we live and practice over here, and so we have a locker room downstairs, and they call it the 1984 project because that's how old this building is. And the locker room itself is just very old. It's got a lot of space. A lot of things can be done down there, but it's just taken a while to get us to this point. But it is a recruiting tool. I mean, we want to be able to show players that, hey, when you come here, this is the place you're going to be, and you spend a lot of time in that room, and we need to get it updated, state of the art. It's just a lot of things in there when you walk through that, and it shows old. There's only so much paint and carpet and this thing you can do. It's like putting lipstick on a pig. At some point you got to rehaul and do it all. And I think Dr. Looney's got a good plan in place just based off of the meetings I've been in, and I'm excited about it. I mean, it's something that's been long overdue. I mean, it really is. If I could tour everybody down there, they would completely understand.
Visit RoarLions.com/football locker room for more information. Coach Willis, last thing for you, fourth and final year of the Division I transition, and when you look back, year one, big win over Southern Utah. You played North Dakota State as well. Year two, we got our first taste of Big South Conference action. 2020 was tough. You played 3 FBS schools. Now 2021, just an incredibly tough schedule as well. But what can you say about everything this program has done the last 4 years as you've taken us from the Division II world into Division I?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it was not easy, and we knew it wasn't going to be easy, but we've had our ups and downs. We started out the year the transition 7-3, went 4-7, then we only played a 4-game season. We've made money. We've played some bigger schools. This year, been a little disappointing. I mean, we didn't know how it would play out, but we felt like we left some wins out there. But overall, I mean, we've been very competitive. We're not getting blown away. We're in the games. We're winning some games. There's just some things we got to close the gap on off the field. I mean, you can't just erase the 2 and put a 1 in front of the D. You've got to do the things that come with that. And I think there's a plan in place. I think what we're all excited about being is the transition's over, okay, once we get through this season. And we bounced around from no conference to Big South Conference. They don't count our wins to, well, this year they're going to count the game. And now we're moving to the ASUN. And we're just ready to get somewhere and be still, be established. And, all right, this is going to be the norm. And, it hasn't been that way. COVID, that's unpredictable. We couldn't predict the 2020. That was just all, that was tough on everybody. But I think the excitement of next year is the fact that here's a conference. We're in here. And we're eligible for, the wins, the standings, the playoffs, and here we go. And so I think it's bittersweet in the fact I was I hadn't been here with D2. It was fun years, and there was a lot of wins, and, D1's going to get that way. We're going to be there. It's taking a little bit of time, and we got to navigate through these things.
Coach Willis, we're excited. I know it's been a good bye week. Looking forward to next week. Thanks for joining us.
All right, Ben. Appreciate it.
That will do it for this week's episode of the Purple and Gold Hour. Thanks to each and every one of our guests, to Butler Kane and Rachel Kuntz for coming by to talk about Town and Gown, to Stedman Campbell and Tyler Rice, and, of course, UNA head football coach Chris Willis. That will do it. We'll be back next week. This has been the Purple and Gold Hour, presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation.
This has been the Purple and Gold Hour, presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation. Thanks for listening, and remember that you can catch the Purple and Gold Show 2 hours prior to every football game right here on 98.3 WLX, the home of the Lions. Roar Lions!